Unbelievable! Due to the sudden eruption of the volcano, lightning suddenly flashes. Why do you think this wonderful moment occurs?
What you are looking at is another view of the first few moments of Kilauea's eruption that began on June 7th of 2023. In a prior video, I attempted to estimate the maximum height of the lava fountains generated in the eruption's first minute via timing how long it took for a fragment of lava to reach the ground from its peak height. However, this previous estimate of 216.77 meters or 711.19 feet did not take into account air resistance. However, with this new footage, we can now compare the peak of the lava fountain height to two known features, the lava lake floor and the rim of the down drop block within the Halemaumau caldera. Although the perspective is difficult to be precise with, it appears that the highest lava fountain reached 90% of the height of the down-dropped caldera rim block top, meaning the lava fountain only peaked at a height of 144 meters or 472.4 feet.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
Oh, there goes. Holy!
Bro, wake up! Come on, bro.
Wake up!
What's the weird number? 7 is a bit weird, right? Alright, 7. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, nothing. Enough to walk
Holy smokes! Oh my god!
right before.
What? Look! Oh, look! Oh my god, did you see? Oh no, stay far away.
Circolare Ribari, Adriatico Princess 4.
Hi, my name is Joe Reesing. I'm at the Joint Institute for the Study of the Atmosphere and the Ocean at the University of Washington. I was the chief scientist on this expedition, so I led the cruise and the trip to the West Mata eruption. The video that you'll be looking at is large magma bubbles. They're about 3 feet across, and the bubbles are molten rock that are expanded under the gas pressure of magmatic gas. And the magmatic gas, we presume, is mostly water. And when the water is under the magma, it's at magmatic temperatures, thousands of degrees. And when it's suddenly cooled by coming in contact with seawater, the bubble bursts. So what excites me the most about this volcanic eruption is that that on planet Earth, this is a process happening all the time. And yet, we have never seen it happening in quite this way. The ocean floors are formed almost exclusively by volcanic activity. And strangely enough, we really have never seen molten lava flowing on the seafloor from a submarine volcano. We have seen in other eruptions much shallower in the ocean, but in this case, we're actually seeing molten lava flowing on the seafloor. We're seeing these magma bubbles. We're seeing these explosive events. We're seeing the seafloor open up and pour out magma, and we're seeing these pillow lavas, probably one of the most common forms of rock on Earth. And despite the fact that this happens, 80% of the volcanoes, 80% of the eruptions basically on Earth are happening underwater. And we've never made these observations before.
Right now, in the United States, one of the world's largest volcanoes is gearing up to explode. It's known as the Yellowstone volcano. And it's not just any regular volcano. Nope. It's a super volcano. If Yellowstone decided to erupt, the results would be devastating. But how bad would they be? Is there anything we can do to stop it? Would it affect the entire world? And how would this change our weather? This is What If, and here's what would happen if the Yellowstone volcano erupted tomorrow. Located in Wyoming in the United States, Yellowstone has erupted 3 times in the past 2 million years. This has led some people to wonder whether we should be worried about another Yellowstone eruption in the near future. And by near future, we mean probably in another couple 100,000 years. But instead of waiting so long, why don't we find out what would happen if the eruption took place tomorrow? If you live in North America, there would be virtually nothing you could do to prepare. Now that this supervolcano has exploded, well, first, what makes Yellowstone a supervolcano anyway? Well, apart from it being larger in size, a supervolcano also produces a much more massive explosion. Most of the time, when we think of a volcanic eruption, we think of the hot, molten lava spewing down, covering the surrounding area. Well, while that would happen at Yellowstone, and it is something you'd need to worry about, it wouldn't be the only thing. In fact, the lava pouring out of the volcano might be the least of your worries. Surprisingly, there wouldn't be much of it. At least not as much as you'd expect from a supervolcano. That's because before lava leaves a volcano, it's first known as magma. But in this case, a lot of Yellowstone's magma won't be able to become lava. That's because it will be shot up into the sky, becoming airborne ash particles. And it won't just be any type of ash. These will be tiny, scorching little particles of jagged rock. Now this would affect nearly the entire United States and Canada. Tens of millions of people within 1,000 kilometers of the eruption would die. If you breathed the ash, which would be inevitable in a scenario like this, it would form a cement-like mixture in your lungs, causing you to suffocate. Buildings would collapse as just 30 centimeters of ash is enough to cave roofs in. And you'd still be in trouble even if you were outside that 1,000 kilometer range. Experts say that even the east coast of the United States would be covered with 1 centimeter of ash, which would still be incredibly dangerous to our human lungs. Even parts of Europe would see some ash. Maybe a light dusting. And that wouldn't be the only effect they'd experience. Apart from the deadly ash everywhere, the entire world would experience a temperature drop. The ash lingering in the air would block out the sun, resulting in significant weather changes. The global temperature would drop by 10 degrees, an effect which could last as long as a decade. The ash would also affect crops, water supply, and virtually everything else in the western part of the world. So, although you'd probably survive the initial explosion, you'd eventually suffer the consequences of the ash. Whether that means dying relatively quickly or living long enough to experience a colder, harsher world. Luckily, you can take a deep breath of ashless oxygen knowing that something like this will probably never happen, at least not in our lifetime. An eruption like this at Yellowstone would be known as a supervolcanic eruption. A more likely explosion at Yellowstone would be a hydrothermal eruption. This mainly involves a lot of steam and some rocks hurtling through the air. Although something like this would be bad, it wouldn't be nearly as scary as what we're getting here. A more likely eruption at Yellowstone would be a relatively simple lava flow. In fact, since the last major explosion, 600,000 years ago, we've had nearly 50 of these eruptions and 0 casualties. We know one way to almost certainly get killed by lava, and it involves dropping your trash into it. But